Hi, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you have been here before. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. My name is Sam and I love talking about books and other things, but today we're going to be talking about the books that I have read so far in 2026. So this is going to be my January and February reading wrap up. It's been a little bit since I have posted on here, but I'm really excited to be sitting here talking about books again. And I will say I'm a little bit nervous. It's been a while since I've sat in front of the camera and just yapped. I've been creating in other ways, but coming back to my roots of YouTube, it's just really fun and exciting, and I always have an off and on relationship with YouTube, so I'm just happy to be here and I'm so grateful that you are here as well. So enough yapping, let's jump right into the books, starting with the books I read in January. So I would say 90% of these books were read on my Kindle, which means that they were mostly read on Kindle Unlimited, and then there were a couple that I just did the audiobook, or there's one that I physically own, which is crazy because I have so many books back there that I haven't physically read yet that I need to get to, and I need to like pause on Kindle Unlimited. I've just been in like a Kindle reading mood. This is not me trying to sell you on a Kindle. I just really love being able to like drop it into my bag and read anywhere, and it like picks right up. So anyway, the first one was on Kindle Unlimited. It was called The New Year's Party. I read it like right in the beginning of January. I was trying to find something that was like New Year's themed, and it was a short story, like mystery thriller type of vibe. But if I'm honest, like after I was done reading it, like don't get me wrong, I was hooked. And for a short story, you get a lot and it is entertaining. But would I recommend it? Probably not. The only way that I could describe it by the end of the book, it felt like I read a parody of a book. And it's really not that ridiculous, but there was just something about it that made me feel this way. It was about this couple that goes to this extravagant like New Year's Eve party that you needed a ticket for, and they're like assigned to sit at this table with two other couples, and one of the couples at the table started talking about New Year's resolutions, and everyone was just going around the table talking about them. And then as the conversation and the night progresses, they basically end up offering something to the table that could fulfill those resolutions / goals if they wanted to. It's just very silly. I ended up rating it 2 stars, which one thing about me is that I am very generous about my ratings. And this is not me bashing the author or the book. Some people might love this book. Do with all of this information as you will. It was very entertaining. It got me like sucked in, don't get me wrong, and I like binge read it. It was really short. It was like a little over an hour. So anyway, moving on. And in case you're wondering what this is, I have been loving making mocktails. I just take whatever I have in the kitchen and like mix it all together. But I've really been enjoying this. This was a little bit of lemonade mixed with a blackberry lemonade sparkling water. And then I just threw in some fruit, and it's so good. It's like way less icky stuff than drinking soda. Can you say hi? Can you say hi to everyone? This is Whiskers. I love him so much. He's just so floppy. On to the next book. Next we have A Killer Wedding, and I feel like I had such high hopes and expectations for this book. So the way that people described this book was a mix of White Lotus and Knives Out. Like I can kind of see why they would describe it that way, but I wouldn't describe it that way. I think that at least for Knives Out, which is like a phenomenal movie, to me that is such a high standard. It's about this journalist who covers this very like luxurious wedding, and then a murder happens, so then the journalist has to like basically uncover all of these secrets and try to figure out who is the murderer and why and all of the things. I personally have read so many books with this type of plot. Normally they are such a good time, but this one in specific, I think that I felt a little bit bored. I ended up rating it 3 stars. I remember not gravitating to it as much, but I did finish it. It was the second book that I read this year. Someone else may have a very different reading experience than me and maybe love it. So moving on to the one book on this list that I physically own, and that is Never Over by Clara Gilmore. I loved the love interest. Like I loved this book. It made me adore her writing and the characters. I was like giddy reading this. So I was really excited when I saw this on Book of the Month, and unfortunately it fell flat for me. I don't know what it was, but I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. This one is about our main character who wants to be a songwriter, not like a performer, like she just wants to write songs. She wants to be in the music industry, and she's only ever been in love once. And the thing is, he inspired her songs. And so now in order to get re-inspired to write songs, she wants to fall back in love with him. And so she ends up reuniting with him. He is now a part of like the crew for a touring artist. And so he invites her to join her on tour, and it kind of just goes from there. And it's like past and present timeline. This was another one that I just like wasn't gravitating toward picking up. So once again, I hate saying this, I rated this 3 stars. This one I rated like at least a 4.5, but I was so bummed that I wasn't in love with this story. But I will say, now that you can kind of see a pattern, I was definitely in a reading slump toward the end of last year and into this year. And I think that these lower ratings at first have to do with that. These next books help me get out of my reading slump so much. And I will just say, if you are ever in a reading slump and you like a mystery thriller, read a Frida McFadden book, because I've read 3 so far this year. They keep you so hooked. They're so fast paced. They're so easy to read. So even if you're not like the biggest reader, the next book that I read was The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. Our main character is Sydney. She meets this guy who becomes the perfect boyfriend. His name is Tom. He's a doctor. He's very charming, until multiple different murders of women start happening around them. And then she kind of starts getting suspicious of him because the men that these women have dated are very similar to him. So it just kind of makes her start like doubting, like, is he the killer? And then it just goes from there. I don't want to say anymore because I don't want to spoil anything, but overall it was a really good time. I rated it 4 stars. Like I said, I really liked it and it got me out of my reading slump. Next we have The Fall Risk, which is actually a Valentine's Day short story by Abby Jimenez. I know there's a couple different series of these books by different authors for different holidays. I know that they've done it for Christmas time and for Valentine's Day, and I just wanted something that would be like easy to get through, but that was festive. I read this toward the end of January and I loved this book. I really like Abby Jimenez and her writing, and I fully went into this book blind. I wish it was longer. I also feel like it would make a good movie, and there was like kind of suspense in it, but it was so much fun. Basically, 2 neighbors in this apartment building end up stuck on their floor because their stairs were like getting worked on and like missing for a couple of days. The main girl actually has a stalker that she's been avoiding. Overall, I like their chemistry. I like the story. I love the writing. It was just such a good, easy read. Highly recommend. I rated it 4 stars. I wish that we had like a longer version of this. I hope my hair looks okay. I can like kind of see it in the viewfinder. I'm blonde today. I'm normally not blonde. My hair is normally pink, but it was a very light pink. And then I went swimming in the pool and it just sucked out all of the pink. So now it's blonde and I just haven't recolored it yet, and like my roots need some love. I like didn't leave the bleach on long enough last time. Anyway, my hair's kind of a mess. It also needs a trim. It's all over the place, but we're just running with it. The hair story that you didn't ask for. I just apologize in advance if there are any like random pieces sticking out. Back to Frida McFadden. Next I read The Teacher. This book was wild and it had like so many layers to it. If you're in a reading slump, this is a great book to get you out of it if you like mystery thrillers. So the story is about a married couple who are both teachers that teach at the same school. And at that school, there was recently a scandal where one of the students was having an affair with one of the teachers. So the teacher got let go, but the student is still there. According to everyone, she's like causing chaos. She can't be trusted. And one of the teachers gets close to her and things unravel from there. I don't want to give too much away, but this story was definitely quite the roller coaster and I would recommend. I rated this book 4 stars. So those were all of the books in January. Now moving on to February, I only read 2 books, and starting with another Frida McFadden book, and that is The Housemaid's Secret, which is the 2nd book in the Housemaid series. I am so excited to see the movie. I still haven't seen it. My friends and I tried to go see it multiple times and then like our schedules just didn't work out. We have been looking forward to it so much. I've heard that the movie was great, so I'm so excited. But because this is the 2nd book, I don't want to give away too much of the plot. I'll just say basically our main character is on another adventure. I feel like it wasn't as good as the first one. To be fair, I read the first one still very early on my reading journey, so it's not like I had a lot to compare it to, but I loved the first one. It's a great book, especially once again if you are in a reading slump. I know I keep saying that, or maybe you don't read often and you're just watching this video for fun. Such a good book, like a mystery thriller. It's very fast paced, very like will keep you guessing, and the plot twist is so good. So I think for this one being the 2nd book, it was fine to like continue the series. I think it was still really good. I rated it a 3.75, but I don't know that I'm gonna read the other. I think that there's 2 other housemaid books. There's a 3rd one, and then I think there's like a novella, like a short one that I like, I don't know, maybe. And then the last book that I finished in February was The Future Saints. So I first saw this book on Book of the Month, but I had decided to skip that month, but I was still like intrigued by the book. So I decided to just listen to the audiobook, and it is such a heartbreaking story about grief. But if you like Daisy Jones and the Six, you would probably really love this. I thought it was great. It gives the same vibe as Daisy Jones, but present day, like a present day indie artist. I feel like the main character, if I were to describe her like aesthetic wise, she sounds like a mix of like Halsey and Taylor Momsen. Like when I was reading it, I kept picturing like those type of characters, and I just found myself really enjoying the story. I'm someone that like, when it comes to literary fiction, I have to be in that mood. When it comes to mystery thriller, I feel like I don't have to be in that mood. I can just start reading it. But for literary fiction books, I have to be in the mood and like keep craving it, and I kept craving it. Like I didn't get burnt out, I didn't get bored. I thought it was a great book, and like I said, definitely talks about a lot of grief, the process of what you go through after you lose someone. Honestly, like very deep, but overall very, very enjoyable, and I really like the characters. I wish that we got more of the other characters. I feel like I could totally see a movie being made from this, but overall it was a pretty good time. Those are all of the books that I have read from January to February. Like I said, I did not read that much in February. I read 2 books, but I do just want to mention I have been craving like a cozy, girly Disney fairy vibe. I don't know why. Like Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, like I've been watching the old Tinkerbell movies. I hope you can see it. Like I thrifted this book, Darling Girl, which I'm pretty sure has like a Peter Pan vibe. I feel like every spring for the last few years, I get this craving. So I thought it would be fun if we did like a reading vlog or something. I think this book is YA, but I have just been wanting to read it ever since I heard about it. It just sounds really cozy. It's set in the same world as Tinkerbell. Anyway, we might do a little reading vlog about this. If that's something you would be interested in, please let me know. Maybe we'll add in like other books with it, other books that maybe give that vibe that I was describing. That is all for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. It feels so good to be yapping to the camera again, as always. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. It means the absolute world to me, and I can't wait to keep yapping to you about books and other things. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys very soon. Bye!